So at this time, I would certainly ask our CEO to introduce the RCMP constable or whoever will be doing the introductions to our auxiliary police officers.
I would be pleased to if you can come up to the microphone and introduce that fine group of gentlemen you walked in with.
All right. Hi, my name's Constable Steve Dale Barreza, and I am the auxiliary coordinator here in Olds. And today we brought our auxiliaries up here in regards just to give you guys a heads up on what we're doing for community policing. And we have 4 very good auxiliaries. One's not here tonight, unfortunately, couldn't be, but we have the 3 that are here on a regular basis. The first one, if you don't mind, Sam, Derek Jacobson. Of course, what do you do, Derek?
I'm the Utilities Public Works Foreman for the Town of Olds.
Go figure. I knew you guys knew that.
Well,
some probably didn't.
Some of us see him around here, but I don't tell everybody everything. So.
Okay, the next one we have is Auxiliary Constable John Lavoie. And John, tell him what you do.
Work oil field and sundry and live in Olds, and I'm the Olds Fire Department.
And the next Auxiliary Constable, Peter Waycott. Go ahead, Pete, and tell him what you do.
I'm Operations Manager for Carmax Maintenance Services in Calgary, but reside in Olds.
Okay, and Pete's wife, actually, Michelle Waycott, is our Victim Services Coordinator as well. So basically, what would you like to know about the auxiliary program? How far in depth would you like me to go?
Well, I think we'll just open the floor to council, and again, thank you all for taking your time to be here this evening, and we will open the floor to any questions. Any comments? Councillor Duryea.
Thank you, Worship. Constable Barreza?
Yes.
Barreza.
Oh, there's a familiar face from this morning.
Thank you very much. I'm curious to know what are some of the main duties that the auxiliary constables have to fulfill, and what seems to attend to most of their time.
Okay, when they come out, again, the auxiliary program is, the requirement when you become an auxiliary is 160 hours a year that we require. That's the minimum. If you'd like to put in more, then by all means. I used to be an auxiliary myself before I started, and I used to, at some time, I guess, put in 570 hours. My wife wasn't happy, but other than that, so again, 160 minimum, and we get the guys to come in. They can come in any time of the week, weekends. It's on their own schedule. If they only want to come in for a couple hours, they can. It's basically how long they want to work. If they want to do a whole 10-hour shift with us, they can. They do everything that we basically do when they're with us. Their police powers are the same as mine, only when they're with us. So when they're not with us, those police powers don't enact. Then they become part of the public again. They're under the Police Act, RCMP Act, while they're working with us. So when we go out, they'll do everything we do. They'll do document service, school talks. We'll get them to do special, in fact, Remembrance Day. We got them to come out. Again, basically their time and their efforts, I guess, in the different types of jobs are unlimited, really. They don't carry a gun. That's probably the biggest difference. And Derek, if you don't mind standing up, just to give you a bit of a difference in the uniform, just come on up here. So at one time, that uniform never used to be any different. When I was an auxiliary, the uniform was identical, except for I wasn't carrying a gun. In this case, now Derek has an RCMP patch that says auxiliary on it. He doesn't have a yellow stripe, and that's really and that's really about it. Their hats don't have a yellow band as well. They do have a blue band. So they've made some changes. They felt that this was needed for a safety reason. There we go. For safety issues, I know there was some occupational health and safety concerns in regards to an auxiliary being identified as a direct police officer. Is there any threat to their safety any different? No. I mean, anytime they come with us, they're coming to domestics, they're coming to bar fights. They're basically putting themselves right in front of the line. So their duties are unlimited. Yes?
Thank you. My question would be then, if they have full powers of a police officer, where do they take their training?
They go to Edmonton in Alberta. They go to K Division, and I will actually. There's a week-long a training session. It's 4 days, and I will actually, if I can get Auxiliary Constable John Lavoie to come up, I'll get you to explain what that entails as far as the training goes. Because he just recently came back. How long ago? July.
Yeah.
And same with Pete. So go ahead and explain exactly what you guys went through.
Okay, so law enforcement training when we went to K Division is, first of all, we have to get security clearance. So the security clearance is the same as a full member. I have a regimental number, a Hermes number, so it's basically the same as an officer, which would be like our badges. Once you go through all the security and screening process, which is identical as a full member, then what we do is when you're signed up, you'll go to Edmonton K Division, signed in there. There they do so a lot of classroom apprehension, cuffing, baton. You do get pepper sprayed, which is extremely unpleasant. And then a lot of classroom, a lot of book, and then of course when we get back here, we're expected to do a lot of online courses, so sensitivity courses, etc. And then it's a continuing education program, as well as with our auxiliary coordinator. He's responsible to train on while we're on duty as well. So the week-long course is quite rigorous in the amount of material that you have to absorb in those days, and long, and they even march us just like full members, so we were expected to march in the gym, etc. And then as far as the physical requirement, you're required to pass the pair test, which to be any police officer you have to pass that, which is again very physically demanding, but proof in the pudding. I guess all three of us have passed that and we're here, so thank you.
Okay. And the physical training he talked about is called the PAIR. The acronym is the Physical Abilities Requirement Exam, and we all have to do it. The only thing is you have to do it for 4 minutes or less as a regular member, and auxiliaries are allowed 4 minutes and 45 seconds to get it, even though, you know, they're in very good shape, all three of them.
I know as peace officers, our peace officers also have to pass that exam, I was told. Would you have an idea of how many auxiliary peace officers in Alberta, from your experience? You say you take care of the training and etc. So are you saying let's just do a guesstimate of what each municipality, are we fortunate to have 4? Do other municipalities have 10 or 1 or none, or what's the stats out there?
Yeah, each detachment is different depending on population, and there's a new way. A long time ago when I was in auxiliary, it was the detachment or the town used to pay for the auxiliaries, so there was limited amount. Right now we're allotted 4 auxiliaries, so we're up to snuff now. We have all 4. But what it is now, it's a collator code, and that's basically one of our codes for costing, and that all comes through the province. So now the province pays for the uniform, the province pays for anything that they need. So as here in Olds has 4, Didsbury has 2. When I was in Crow's Nest Pass a couple of years ago, they had 2. So it definitely ranges, but every detachment has auxiliaries, as far as I know.
That's good to hear. Are the auxiliaries allowed to drive the RCMP vehicles without an RCMP?
No, and they actually can't drive it even if we're with them, because they're not covered. And that's I guess they would call it the Vehicle Emergency Acquired, what do they call that? BC EVO, and there's Alberta EVO, Emergency Vehicle Operations. They're not covered for that. So unless, you know, the situation arises, it's an emergency, and you know what, common sense prevails, we're going to get them to do it if we needed help or anything like that. So,
Council, questions? Hey, Councillor Baruchel.
Yeah, thank you. Do the auxiliaries receive an honorarium, or are they paid by the hour, or is it volunteer, or how does that work?
yeah, it's all voluntary. Their hours are totally voluntary, so it's a big sacrifice, I guess you can say, that they're coming out because they don't get paid. They do get a lot of different awards throughout the years. I did have an auxiliary that I looked after that had 33 years service, And in fact, he's still an auxiliary. He just told me the other day that he wants to pack it in, but and I don't blame him. But yeah, they get awards. There'll be 5-year awards, yearly awards. We get pens. We get all kinds of different things, clocks. So there's all kinds of little incentives because they don't get paid. And again, that comes through a specific provincial fund. Now the auxiliaries do. I said they don't carry firearms, but they're allowed to use a shotgun. That we get them to train on. And they know how to access a shotgun from the truck. So if we ever have to do a door kick or we get into an emergency situation, which we've run into a few times, they will take the shotgun. So they have that ability. And they do have to qualify on that. Qualify. Yeah, they have to qualify on the shotgun, like we have to do every year with our handguns and shotgun. Yes.
Councillor Overwater.
Thank you, Your Worship. Will we see these auxiliary officers riding on the bikes?
Well, it's
One of us.
yeah, it's actually funny. It's funny that you say that because we were talking about that, and we do believe that there's an accelerated program for the auxiliaries, whereas our regular bike course is 5 days. It's very, I guess, I didn't think it was that detailed, but apparently is. But I think the auxiliaries is a day or two, and if they could get the course, then you definitely will have them out and about. I think that'd be the best way to have them. They'll be like right now we use them in the parks, the bikes, and there's a lot of stuff that we can get to that you can't get to with vehicles.
Great, thank you.
They must be Superman because they do everything in half the time that the RCMP. They go for training for like a year. These guys, 4 days.
Now you just totally destroyed everything I built up. Now I got to start over again.
Anyways, if there's no further questions at this time, once again, I want to thank you because I know this has been a difficult schedule for everybody to arrange to be able to get together, and you're all busy. So once again, thank you, and hope that you continue to be the supermen in our community. Very good, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Olds Community TV, your go-to channel for news and information in Olds, Alberta.